December 16, 1944, the Ardennes Forest, Belgium. Snow covered the ground in a thick, uneven blanket, dulling sound and swallowing movement. Pine trees stood dense and dark beneath a low gray sky, their branches heavy with ice. Roads were narrow, winding, and barely visible beneath frozen mud and packed snow. It was terrain most commanders believed armor could not cross in winter. Before dawn, the silence shattered. German artillery opened fire across a wide front. Shells crashed into American positions without warning, tearing into frozen earth and shaking the forest itself. Explosions echoed through the trees in rolling waves. For the American soldiers stationed here, the attack came as a shock, and intelligence reports had labeled this sector quiet. Many of the units were under strength, placed here to rest after months of fighting across France. Now the forest was alive with fire and movement. German infantry advanced through fog and snow, their shapes ghost-like among the trees. Behind them came tanks, Panthers and Panzer IVs, moving along roads the Americans believed were impassable for heavy armor in winter. The Ardennes offensive had begun, the final major gamble of the German army in the west. Along a narrow forest road near a small Belgian village, 5 American Sherman tanks waited in the cold. Engines idled low, frost clung to steel armor. Inside the turrets, crews spoke quietly over radios as reports grew more urgent by the minute. German tanks were coming. The men inside those Shermans understood the odds. Against Panthers, the Sherman was considered inferior, thinner armor, a shorter gun. German crews mocked it openly, calling it a machine that burned easily when hit. But retreat was not an option. Those 5 tanks were ordered to hold the road. The crews studied the ground carefully. The road curved through dense forest, bordered by a shallow open field and frozen hedgerows. Visibility was poor, fog hung low, snow continued to fall beneath a dull, overcast sky. If there was any advantage to be found, it would come from terrain and timing. The tanks were positioned hull down behind a slight rise, exposing only their turrets. From this angle, the Sherman's weaker lower armor was protected, ammunition was checked, armor-piercing rounds were limited, every shot would matter. The first German tank emerged as a dark shape in the fog, then another. Their silhouettes grew clearer as they advanced, confident and deliberate. German doctrine favored long-range engagements. The Panther's 75mm gun could destroy a Sherman well before the American tank could respond. Still, the Shermans did not fire. They waited. At roughly 800 yards, the German column slowed, scanning the tree line. Resistance had not been expected here, certainly not American armor. When the German tanks committed to the road, the order came quietly over the radio. Fire. The first American round struck the side of a Panzer IV as it angled off the road. The shell punched through thinner armor behind the turret. Smoke erupted instantly. The tank stopped dead. Before the Germans could react, the other Shermans opened fire. The forest erupted in sound. Muzzle flashes cut through fog. German shells slammed into frozen earth, throwing snow and dirt into the air. Trees shattered under the impact of high-velocity rounds. One Sherman was hit squarely in the front. The armor held, but the impact rattled the crew violently. Radios went dead. The tank stayed in position. The Americans shifted constantly, firing and repositioning, using the terrain to deny the Germans clean shots. Smoke rounds burst across the road, breaking lines of sight and spreading confusion. The fight was closing fast.